Hello, everyone. How's it going? It is I, the man, the myth, the mustache, Tim here with another dark episode for you. Welcome to part 2 of What If Midoriya Was an AFO Fan. Please, sit back and relax for another sweet and sour treat. With that little intro out of the way, let's get this story rolling, shall we? Welcome to the League. That echoed in Midoriya's mind as he rested that evening. Finally, he was living a life worth living. Not only was he working with villains, he was working for him, all for one. He had been told to return home and rest so as not to arouse suspicions, and Midoriya heeded these orders to the letter. He was also given a second phone designed specifically to contact members of the League of Villains, as it was called, and be untraceable by normal methods or most quirks. So far, Midoriya's phone only had 2 contacts, Shigaraki and Kurogiri. These contacts were hidden inside what at a glance seemed to be an innocent app called Honey. The following day, Midoriya had received 2 texts, one from Shigaraki and one from Kurogiri. Midoriya checked he wouldn't be disturbed before he decided to read them. Shigaraki's read, "Kid, you've got to download this game I'm getting into. It's called Among Me. So much fun, and it'd be crazy seeing your brain at work in a game. Download it and play with me sometime. Just shoot me a text." This text message was certainly an unexpected thing to receive from a villain, but Midoriya didn't see the harm in indulging this later. Midoriya then proceeded on to the next text, which came from Kurogiri, which said, "Tactical. Master wishes to meet again at the base later this afternoon. Contact me when you're ready to go." It was exactly as expected, concise, polite, and at that point, at least with Kurogiri, Midoriya knew what to expect. After downloading and playing a few rounds of that game Shigaraki had suggested while waiting for the afternoon, when the time arrived, Midoriya left the house telling Inko he was going to hang out with some friends, which wasn't a lie, technically speaking. He wandered down that same alleyway and waited for Kurogiri. Once the gate opened, Midoriya stepped in with joy and pride to be going to speak with his idol and master once more. As he entered the bar, Midoriya was greeted by a Shigaraki slumped over the bar with Kurogiri behind it, and a table with a metal suitcase with all his notebooks stacked beside it. "Hey Shigaraki, Kurogiri. So, how did it feel getting voted out of the airlock, Shigaraki?" In response to this, Shigaraki grumbled at the bar, likely still getting over losing to Midoriya over and over and over again.
Welcome back, Tactical. I trust you have noticed the suitcase and notebook of yours. Everything inside that suitcase is yours. I have the outfit inside especially designed to best help you and your quirk in and out of battle, along with some papers regarding your training for your future mission,"
spoke the voice of All for One from the monitor toward the messy green-haired teen. Midoriya opened the suitcase and smiled at what would become his signature villain outfit, the outfit of the soon-to-be infamous Tactical. He then withdrew the various papers. The first detailed various references to books and websites on computers, robotics, and various other forms of machinery. The next paper detailed the full robots and point system for this year's UA entrance exam for the Heroes courses. And finally, was a paper on exercise and dietary guidelines. "I presume the plan is to place me among the heroes in UA as a turncoat and spy?" inquired Midoriya as he withdrew his villain outfit's headgear, which was a black metal helmet and mask with 8 red eyes. Trying it on, Midoriya found the insides of his helmet linked with his eyesight to each eye, granting perfect 180-degree sight, both horizontal and vertical.
"You are somewhat correct, Tactical. While yes, I do want you in UA as a turncoat, I don't intend for you to be a spy unless absolutely required. No, you will be swaying hearts and minds to our way of thinking, be they student or teacher, if you can manage to sway one of them."
All for One chuckled slightly at Midoriya, impressed again by his ability to deduce nearly everything in a matter of moments. Midoriya listened intently to All for One, his master, his idol, and hearing his idol treat him as a fellow villain by addressing him as Tactikill made him nerd out inside, but he retained a calm exterior as he further examined his helmet and mask, noticing that the eyes had various settings: infrared, X-ray, zoom, and night vision. He also noted there was a voice changer. Midoriya looked at the rest of his outfit, placing the masked helmet to one side. He pulled out a black metal chest piece that covered his front and back. Examining this chest piece exposed two circular metal hatches, which, according to the guidelines, contained a single metallic arm each. The rest of the outfit was a dark gray lab coat. With the lab coat came a pair of black gauntlets that seemed linked with Midoriya's quirk, allowing him to use his telekinesis on himself, be it his entire body or just certain parts. This stuff is incredible, Master! How'd you get this kind of technology for my gear? Midoriya asked, as he inspected and marveled at the outfit presented to him.
So, you enjoy your new outfit? Good. It was difficult to get made on such short notice. But, to answer your question, I have a few followers on Island who, thanks to the good doctor's notes on your quirk's performance in your test, to join us helped guide them in their work.
Midoriya no longer contained his inner fanboy. He delighted and marveled at All for One's resourcefulness, going so far as to applaud his master.
Now, Izuku, take what I have given you and begin your training for UA. You have all you need. But before you go, I have less of an order, more of a request for both you and young Tamura. I would like for the pair of you to bond outside of league business, to grow and improve, so that you may both be able to trust and depend on each other when you need help that I cannot give.
Shigaraki raised his head off the bar, groaning, as he stretched, looking to Midoriya as All for One spoke.
Shouldn't be too hard, Master. The kid owes me a rematch or several in among me. Plus, it'll be good to be able to stretch my legs with someone. But, won't I need a fake name while I'm out there?
Silence fell on the room as Shigaraki raised a good point. Everyone remained silent, trying to think of a name that wasn't too close to Tamura or Shigaraki. Kurogiri chimed in on the conversation with a possible idea. What about Yamaki? There were no objections from Shigaraki or All for One. Midoriya left with a suitcase full of his new stuff All for One had gifted him. The All for One! Midoriya could barely contain himself. He'd definitely have to explode into a fanboy frenzy when he got to his room. This video is sponsored by Honey. Honey is a free browser add-on available on Google, Opera, Firefox, Safari. If it's a browser, it has Honey. Honey automatically saves you money when you check out on sites like Amazon, Papa John's, Kohl's. Wherever you shop, it's a good chance that Honey can save you money. All you have to do when you're checking out at these major sites is to click that little orange button and it will scan the entire internet and find discount codes for you. It takes 2 clicks to install Honey. Now, anytime you check out, Honey will scan the entire internet and find coupons for you. If there's a coupon out there, they'll find it. And if there's not a coupon code, you can rest assured that you are getting the best price possible, and there literally is not one available on the internet. If you install Honey right now, you can save $50 to $100 on your shopping doing nothing. There's literally no reason not to install Honey. It takes 2 clicks. 10 million people use it, 100,000 5-star reviews. Unless you hate money, you should install Honey. Upon reaching his home, Midoriya realized he faced one massive problem: his mother. Or so he thought. When he came in, she wasn't anywhere to be seen. Then, he spotted a text on his normal phone that he'd left behind in his room. He read the text and sighed, throwing it away after. The text read, "Gone to grab some coffee with friends after work. Food's in the fridge, just heat it up in the microwave. Hope you're having fun with your friends. Love, Mom." It's not that he didn't love his mother. but it was more that he was getting annoyed that she was staying out for coffee with friends after work more and more. It's bad enough his dad walked out on him, and now his mom barely acknowledged him. Midoriya opened up his suitcase and took the page on his new routine for training and diet. Quickly, Midoriya copied down the new meals he'd be eating, how many calories, and so on, onto a separate piece of paper to show his mom. After all, it was unlikely she'd want to see the training All for One and his doctor had assigned him, especially the more intense regimen. Midoriya had begun studying the point systems, both villain points for destroying robots and hero points for saving and assisting other applicants in the practical. Hero points. The idea sent a horrible feeling down to Midoriya's stomach. But if this is what it took to get in and serve the great All for One, then so be it. He soon heard a car pull up outside, which was definitely new. Nobody here had a car that he knew of, since most people here weren't exactly rolling in money. So he went to the window overlooking the street to see his mother exiting the passenger seat of a pretty professional-looking black car and waving happily as it drove away. Midoriya could have sworn he'd seen that car before, but he couldn't remember quite where or when. Crap! Mom's coming to the door! Gotta hide these papers. Well, maybe not the page on a book and website references or my copy of my new diet. Focus, Izuku! His thoughts raced 1,000 miles an hour. Then he heard her coming upstairs. To his room, most likely. As the door handle moved, Midoriya pulled a random textbook and flipped it open in front of him. Izuku, I'm home. You didn't respond to my text, but you must have been having fun with those friends of yours. So glad to... What's all this? Inko cocked her head as she lifted up Midoriya's new diet and gave him a confused look, which turned to worry as she found and read his poorly hidden training route. The more she read, the more concerned she looked, which, in all fairness, any mother worth their salt would. Sweetie, I know it was hard not having your quirk for so many years, but I need you to be honest with what is all this? Some of this training and the diet and the working out seems a bit much for a teenager who's going to a regular high school he already has an acceptance letter from. So what is all this? Midoriya let out a sigh standing up, lifting his suitcase onto his bed and opening it, revealing the outfit. Mom, I can't lie to you. Not ever. I'm training to apply to UA and get in. As for this, one of my friends gifted it to me. They have links with a company that makes support items and hero costumes. This one's mine. Midoriya smiled as he put on the mask and lab coat over his normal clothes, as opposed to the outfit's issued jumpsuit. Inko looked at her baby boy, and smiled, hugging him tight with what seemed like twice the strength that Nomu had. Oh my goodness! My Izuku's gonna be a hero! I'm so happy, sweetie! But don't forget you're gonna learn how to control your quirk first. Beat up bad guys second, understand? And no killing criminals, no matter how bad they are, unless they give you no choice. Midoriya took his masked helmet off, smiling awkwardly at his mother. God, things were gonna be tense when he made his villain debut in this suit. Okay, Mom, only as a last resort. And I promise I'll learn to control my quirk's power. Inko smiled and kissed her dearest son. Midoriya soon looked up, expecting the look of a doting mother, but instead of a warm, comforting smile, there was instead a smile that sent chills down his spine, and the next words were even worse. That's good. Now I know my quirk isn't as strong as yours, sweetie, but it is in essence a stronger version of my quirk. So I'm joining you in your training, and I think I'll join you in that diet and exercise too. I have gained some weight over the years, and I could stand to lose that. She looked terrifying, as if she planned to put Midoriya through hell. True to her word, Inko and Izuku shared in the diet and exercise, while Inko taught everything she knew about controlling telekinesis. And while she was away at work, Midoriya could proceed to study the various books and websites on electronics recommended by All for One, and studied the 4 robots of the exam in great detail, hunting every weakness from the weak 1-pointer to the titanic 0-pointer. Midoriya and his mother eventually reached a point where he couldn't be taught anything more by her in regards to his quirk. However, she remained at his side for his exercises and watched over her son, who was allowed to use his quirk at Dagobah Beach to clean it up trash, an undertaking his friends Monoma and Kamakiri were eager to join in once they heard about it and Midoriya's training to enter UA. The sound of metal being slashed in half like butter screeched across the beach. Ha! Ha! Man, this is gonna take forever to clear. Izuku's already cleared half his section. Kamakiri let out a whine as he sliced through an old refrigerator. All the while, Monoma began to pant after crushing several junk piles with a quirk that enlarged his hands. Well, can you imagine Bakugo's face when he sees us? Especially Izuku. That'll make it all worth it. So, Izuku, what's changed your mind? I thought you hated the idea of UA. Midoriya sighed as he once more had to spin his web of lies and make sure there were no holes in his story, and Monoma might be the toughest to lie to since he had the habit of seeing through Midoriya's lies. Well, Monoma, I did some soul-searching with a new friend who taught me not to let my past hold me back regarding my quirk, and to fully use it, but my mom taught me how to control my power. Midoriya gave his story as he lifted up various piles of trash and crushed them into cubes of solid scrap, plastic, and various other trash. From a distance, Inko sat on a bench, watching the boys. After a while, someone sat beside her, offering a coffee from a nearby cafe. As they drank, Inko sparked a conversation between them. You think they have a chance to get in, Shota? And that's our video for the day, so thank you all for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed it. Before I go, there's a little bit of housekeeping I want to go over with you. First, We the Celestials has many other channels and content for your entertainment and viewing pleasures. Everything is in the description below, so please go check that out. Second, on behalf of We the Celestials, I want to thank everyone who was involved in the production of today's awesome content. Give the writer and the editor some love, they do a lot of work here. And that's it for today's video, so thank you all for watching and have an amazing day. And as always, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and stay awesome. This has been Tim, Mustache out.